James here from the Gator Nation Football Podcast, bringing you a film breakdown of Florida's offense versus Kentucky. I hope all of you had a wonderful Thanksgiving and holiday week. And then you watched the Kentucky game, which was frustrating for several reasons for a long period of time. Of course, the Gators do get the win, move on to the next game. But as we do on this channel, we want to analyze what Florida could have done better, what went right, what went wrong. And this was the first time all season on film that I thought a defense had a game plan that really worked against Florida. Kentucky emphasized covering the middle of the field. They made sure they kept their numbers deep. Of course, they dropped 8, as we talked about in the prep. Expect Kentucky to copy Vanderbilt's film study, which they did. The wrinkles they added were effective, and they were on display right out of the gate. This is second down, the second play for Florida. Kentucky tends to run a lot of cover 3. They also run some cover 4, and they ran a lot of cover 6 in this game, but it was really how they ran each one of those zones that gave Florida some trouble. We have Copeland here at the bottom. Copeland was probably criminally underused in this game. In fact, he was Florida's most open receiver for most of the game. Unfortunately for him, whether it was offensive line pressure or Trask just not seeing him, very underutilized in this game. It could have been a different story on offense had Florida been hitting Copeland. He was, again, the most open receiver, mainly because Kentucky paid a ton of attention to Tony. They bracketed him a lot. They also paid attention, of course, to Pitts, but they were, as the Florida went on in the game, as we're going to see, Florida found ways to get Pitts one-on-one, but they paid a lot of attention to Tony, which answers the question we had posed in the podcast. What are teams going to do moving forward? Are they going to try to take away Pitts and Tony? And in Kentucky's case, because they have a really good corner they trust, they were tending to lock him up on someone, and that was then going to free up. That was going to free up them to double Tony, or at times double both Pitts and Tony. But Kentucky's real game plan was to take away the middle of the field. They were daring Florida to throw anything to the outside. Florida has proven they can throw outside before, but Kentucky wanted to take away Kyle Trask's middle of the field throws. And on this play, Florida's going to have Copeland. He is going to run a post corner. And then Kyle Pitts, as we've seen before, is going to run really a dig route that goes all the way across the field, so you can hit this ball here or here. This functions as a cover 3 beater for sure, 2-on-1ing this corner if he drops. It also works as a cover 2 beater if they run cover 2. That post corner will be open. This safety will climb here. He'll run with the post, giving Trask a window out here. That's where the ball should have gone on this play. It should have gone to the post corner to Copeland. What's going to happen, though, and this is what's a nice play about it, is Kentucky is going to confuse Trask, and you're going to see what happens. Tony motions. We know no one follows, so they're going to wind up playing some zone. This is cover 6. Cover 6 right now. Trask should know this is cover 6. In fact, pre-snap, he probably should have known it was cover 6. It looked just like it. Cover 2 on this side, so this corner is going to allow, and again, this is Kentucky's best corner. We're going to allow this guy to run by. He's going to let Copeland go. We're going to drop here to pick him up at the safety. On this side, we're going to have 2 droppers. That's the cover 4 side. So we have 2 safeties dropping, and we're going to get a dig in here that's going to be covered. You're going to see Kentucky played a nice zone all throughout the game. We've got him zoning Tony, and then we've got, look here, he's going to fan back and drop into this window. So they're going to take all these windows away. Trask is looking here at Pitts, and what he thinks he's going to get, let's stop right here. He now sees this and thinks, I definitely have Pitts in this window here for sure. But what we're going to get is a really nice play into cover 6. Again, he's a cover 2. He has no one on his part of the field. So part of this is play design. If Florida would have sent someone into his part of the field, he would have stayed down low, and that would have been preferable. In this case, Florida kind of gets caught in a bad play, and so what happens now is he's able to see that Trask is looking here. He's going to drop back into this window, which is what he does. Now Trask thinks he has the throw. He's ready to throw it, and you're going to see he wants to throw it here. Oh, I don't like it. Uh-oh. And that's because we've had that cover 2 drop happen. So now that drop has occurred, Trask pumps, waits a second, throws the ball down the field, and really is trying to fit a tight ball in there and or throw it away. And again, here's the corner who dropped. Here's the linebacker who chased. That's good coverage by Kentucky. What you can't see on your screen here is Copeland. This safety had dropped to this point. When Copeland ran the post, the safety ran inside. When Copeland turned outside, he had turned him all the way around. The Copeland throw would have been an easy throw for Trask if he wasn't so locked in on Pitts on this play. He should have come off of him. He should have recognized that he had the one-on-one and he had the space. So this is a check mark to Kentucky, though. The reason Trask doesn't notice this throw is he sees a picture he's seen in his mind a lot against other teams, and he thinks, oh, I've got that window. It's then taken away, and by the time that he's ready to throw the ball, the clock has expired. It's too late then to throw to Copeland. So either way, nice play by Kentucky. Again, a standard cover 6, nothing fancy here. But the way they employed it and the routes that Florida ran led to this one being successful. And again, Trask now recognizing that his better matchup was Copeland. It's the first third down for Florida. And this is going to show how Kentucky is going to play Florida, at least for really the most of the game. Here we have Pitts. And again, right now they're in too high. So at this point in time, hard to know what they're in. We're off here. This could be a cover 6 again. This really could be anything. You're going to have to wait for the post snap to see how they're going to move their safeties. And right off the post snap, we see they bring their strong safety down in the box, and they're going to wind up playing essentially cover 1 man. And they're going to err on the deep side. We can see here they're already playing way off and bailing. So Pitts is going to get one-on-one here. Corner's going to run with our go route. A lot of things Florida could have run here. Florida was caught off guard by this call by Kentucky. This is an aggressive call by Kentucky, and they're going to blitz their linebacker. So Kentucky comes out 3rd down and 7, plays Florida aggressive, and has determined that they think Trask is going to look at Pitts first, which is correct. I think that's something that actually affected Trask in this game, is he was almost always looking for Pitts, whereas in previous games he was just reading the field. He did tend to lock into him. He has Pitts right now. This is a throw he probably should just make. And instead he comes off of Pitts for reasons unknown to us, because he's got this throw here. He's fine, right? And again, he's not in this window, actually. He's not in this out window. He has this window here. Either way, he comes off of him and then comes back to Tony. But because he was locked onto Pitts for so long, he has no idea that they've brought their safety down into the hole. And again, they're playing cover 1, dropping him into the hole, taking away the middle, not allowing any little dig routes. And then here he is. Nice bracket coverage, nice tackle. That's good defense by Kentucky. It's good film work by them. Most importantly, I thought Trask was just a little slow in this game to make his decisions. Again, he has this throw. Is this going to be a first down? Probably. It's going to be close. And this is an easy throw. He's got to look at him. Look at the bail he has here. So again, just a little indecisive early on in the game here. It's a good stop by Kentucky, and it puts Florida in 4th down. 4th and 2 now on the opening drive. Florida has not started the way they wanted to, but they're going to get something that they saw all film all week long on special teams. Now, special teams was heroic in this game. This is where film study pays dividends. Hopefully, it's one of the reasons why you're enjoying this channel. So what you can't see is Kentucky's free defender here and punt safe is on this side of the field. Florida has aligned both their gunners here to ensure this happens. And this is, again, something they definitely picked up on film. They didn't run this because they were trying to be overly aggressive. They ran this because the odds of converting it were extremely high. Given the look that Kentucky has where there's no one on this side of the field, they have 1 and 2 here for us. Verse 1, 2, 3, 4 for Florida. So we have a 4-on-2, depending on how they want to handle it. Again, can be a 4-on-3, depending on what we're doing with him, and you're going to see how Florida chooses to handle this. Florida's going to handle this differently than what it looks like how I drew it up, but that's how it starts. And this is a safe play by Florida. So Florida's so confident on this one, rather than even worry about somebody breaking through the line here, Florida says, let's make sure we seal this off here. So we're going to send the center. The long snapper is going to make sure we seal this here so no one breaks through to ruin the play right away. Good design. We're going to let this guy, who's the gunner, who's typically going to run free into the wall, run free anyway, knowing that we're going to lock up here, we're going to slide and lock up here, and then we're going to have a lock up here. And that's going to wind up giving us, again, there's the numbers, right? There's the numbers. 1, let's look here, 1, 2, and 3. Those are all the players they had. The free defender is off your screen. He's going to be coming this way, but there's no way he's going to get there in time. Easily accounted for. Florida with a bonus blocker here. We're going to see him go through the hole, and Pierce is not going to get touched. And then there is, in fact, the free defender. You see him go down. He's accounted for. Not going to get touched until we get all the way down to the 40. So this is a really, really safe fake punt. And this was all done by film study. This is something Florida knew they might get. They line up in it. They see the look, and they execute it. Really nice job by special teams. This is Florida's 5th play from scrimmage. At this point in time, the coaches have definitely been on the headset, and they're talking to each other saying, hey, it seems like they're giving Tony a lot of attention. It also seems like they're really trusting their number 1 corner, Kelvin Joseph, the 4-star, who, again, we highlighted on the pod. So if that's the case, let's see what happens if we put Pitts alone on this side. Are they going to shift over? Are they going to leave a safety here to help? How are they going to handle this? Florida catches them perfectly here. What Kentucky is going to do is they're going to allow Pitts to go one-on-one with no help against Kelvin Joseph. And then they're going to have manned up here out of the backfield. And on this side, this is going to be a combo coverage. On this side, they're going to play zone, and they're really going to give a lot of attention to Toney. In fact, this is why Copeland was so open. Copeland is just going to wind up running a little out route here, but they're going to have a zone defender drop. They're going to have a safety roll deep to his side. They're going to have this safety roll down into the window in case he runs a dig. And they're going to have this defender sit actually here, essentially bracketing Toney whichever way he goes and paying no attention to Copeland. So again, this happened almost all day. What it tells you is Kentucky wanted to take away Toney, and they felt like they could play Pitts one-on-one, and that was going to allow them to really overplay the middle of the field entirely. And that was a lot of what they did all day long. On this play, of course, it's going to burn them, and you're going to see just a second of this on your screen. There we see it. Here's the action. There goes our safety bailing out. Again, on this side, we're going to wind up locking up like we've seen before. And then here on this side, we're going to play really a cover 4 principle, except, again, the rotation here is we're going to send him deep, and we're going to drop him into the window. We're going to leave this off high. All right, so this becomes a combo coverage. This becomes something by Kentucky that they're trying to make sure, hey, Trask, if you want to hit this window, you're not hitting it. We'll give you out here, and we'll let you go one-on-one here. And Trask on this play does a nice job. Notice where his head goes. First, he reads this side of the field, which means he's seen the safety coming into the hole. He's seen the free safety dropping back. He now knows that he has Pitts on the weak side, on the left side here, one-on-one. He knows this right with the picture that he takes. Now it's a matter of if Pitts can win the matchup, and you're going to see he recognizes that. Great, I've got what I want. Let's come around. Let's see what Pitts' one-on-one route looks like. Pitts, of course, is going to beat him. And a perfectly thrown ball right on time, right into the window. It's a touchdown for Florida. Really, really, really well done route running, an excellent play designed by Dan Mullen after they recognized how Kentucky was defending them early on. They knew they were going to give Pitts a one-on-one matchup right there. Take a look to the right, confirm the read, throw a strike, get a touchdown. It's now 2 plays later. It's the 5th play from scrimmage for Florida. We mentioned that they're giving a lot of attention to Toney. So Florida comes out. They've been on the headsets. There's no doubt the coaches have been talking to each other, and they said, well, let's see what happens if we line up Pitts by himself here on the weak side. What kind of matchup are we going to get? And again, pre-snap, you can't tell. The question Florida needs to answer is what is going to happen with the safety on this side and what is going to happen with Kentucky's best corner, Kelvin Joseph. Now, they had talked a lot of trash coming into the week Kentucky had, that they were comfortable playing Pitts. Pitts was just another guy. They had something for him. So Florida could have potentially seen this coming. And on this side, we have Toney, and they're going to give a lot of attention to Toney. And again, we mentioned that earlier. They give a lot of attention to Toney. So right now, if you're Trask, your pre-snap read is 4 here versus, again, 3 here with your 2 routes. So you're not really sure where you're going to go. Kentucky could play very pass-heavy here. You're going to have to use your post-snap read to confirm what's going to be good for you, and you're going to see right here, of course, they're telling you where they're going, but let's play this like Trask would. Right now, we're going to take a look. So what do we see? We're going to blitz our free defender here to bring our safety down here. So we're going to replace. We're going to send pressure off the edge to bring our safety into this window, and then we're going to drop here. We're going to drop here into what essentially becomes on this side of the field. Really, again, you could call this a cover 6 with a pattern match on the weak side. So we're going to play man on this side. We're going to play zone on this side. But what matters for your purposes as we watch how this goes is the attention Kentucky gives. So we're going to sit the safety in this window for Toney. Let's take away this part of the middle of the field. We're going to rotate. We're going to rotate our free safety deep and in the middle in case Toney wants to run a post. And we're not even going to look over here. We're going to let this matchup happen. So Kentucky's telling you right away they're giving a lot of attention to Toney. Furthermore, we're going to have our dropper here at the sticks drop and actually really, again, continue to drop back to cover Toney in case he runs this route, while allowing our corner to bail out and play deep thirds. This is going to leave Copeland wide open. Now, Copeland was open a lot, and this is one of the reasons why. Kentucky was giving a ton of attention to Toney. Again, take a look at their defense here. This is really designed for whichever route Toney probably wants to go. Those are the most likely route combinations from the inside receiver. And then here we have Copeland, who was obviously wide open. But Trask, on the other hand, correctly does all this. So let's go back and refocus on what actually happens. Trask is going to do a really nice job taking the snap and immediately looking here to confirm his read. So now he's seen everything. He's taking a picture, and you can't see him on your screen. You can see his foot, but he's taking a picture, and the picture he's taking is, I've got a safety that came down, I've got a safety that's rotating away, and I have 4-on-3 on this side for Kentucky, which means for sure on the backside, I'm man-to-man. So I'm going to come across, here he is, moving his head across, and I'm going to check out my man-to-man matchup. Right now, he knows that Pitts has already won. And he knows this because he has Joseph leaning this way. Trask knows Pitts is coming back this way. He knows he's got him. He just has to deliver a good ball, and you can see him ready. He's prepared to throw. Take a look at the action here. Prepared to throw at this point because he knows he's beat. Ball comes out right on time. Nice, clean pocket. Perfect delivery. And that is Pitts beating Kentucky's number 1 corner. So Kentucky comes in with a game plan that says we're comfortable letting our best corner play Pitts one-on-one. That would allow us to give more attention to Tony, and Florida makes him pay. Florida now getting a feel for what Kentucky wants to do. We're in the second quarter. The offense has not had the ball a lot, but now we're going to address the problem that occurred earlier against Kentucky's cover 6. So this time Florida's going to put 3 receivers here on the Tony side, and they're going to make sure they run Gamble into the flat. And they're going to run Gamble into the flat because, again, this looks like cover 6. This could be cover 3. It could be anything at the pre-snap. But if you're getting a feeling that Kentucky comes into the game wanting to run a lot of cover 6, let's run some plays that will beat that. So here on this side, we're going to have the corner bail. We're going to run him off. Safety is going to wind up bailing here, but he's going to stay tighter to this side. So they're going to split this in quarters. Split this in quarters up here. And then they're going to split this in a half down here with their best corner dropping back. So Florida is going to 2-on-1 this side. Now we know that if this bottom side is cover 2, and again, if you're getting to be a veteran on this read, then you know the cover 2 corner, whoever that may be, and they can use a variety of players to accomplish this role, is going to be really trying to take away the flats. Take away an out, take away a hitch, and you need to pull him under so you can run a route over his head. That's exactly what Florida's going to do. Let's watch the post-snap action here. Grimes is going to simply run off. Let's take the top of the defense out. Let's run out their dropper, which is what's going to happen. And now for this to work, as we saw earlier, what didn't happen was Florida did not have a player to occupy the flat. And that allowed, in this case, he's going to act as your cover 2. He's going to act as your cover 2 corner guarding the flats. He's really just your flat defender in this zone defense. That's what matters the most. We have to occupy him to pin him down low. That didn't happen earlier. It's going to happen now. Tony's then going to give a really nice route here where he's going to fake like he's going into the field, which will occupy this zone defender just for a second. That's kind of unnecessary because Florida caught them in such a good coverage here for this play. And then Tony's going to come back out here. So essentially we are 2-on-1ing really both the cover 2 dropper as well as the safety on this side who you can't see. It works either way depending on how Kentucky wants to defend this. It's a 2-on-1 that's going to work regardless, and there it is. Perfect. We can see here we have everything we want. He's down low. Our zone defender's in here. We've created a big grass window here, and the corner that you can't see is off our screen. Of course, something does happen on this play, which happened a lot in this game. It's something I just, again, don't understand why. I'm not going to spend any more time belaboring this point. But obviously, Florida's got a real weak spot here at right tackle with the Lance. That consistently got Florida. You're going to see it happen again here. Trask should be able to stand in this pocket, make his read, and deliver this ball on time. Instead, he feels the pressure coming appropriately. There it is. Steps up, which, again, he should not have to do at this point in time. Finds a new spot to throw the ball from, and delivers a really nice strike into Tony, who, as you can see, is nestled nicely between the dropper and the flat defender. Excellent coverage beater by Florida. Nice adjustment recognizing how Kentucky was playing. Really nice work early in the game from Dan Mullen to get Tony open. Florida losing 10-7 in a very uninspiring first half of football. There's a minute and 46 seconds left. They're trying to drive down the field in the 2-minute drill, which Florida tends to be very successful in. And of course, once again, you're gonna get some things that you can't see. Florida has 3 receivers at the bottom of your screen. We have Tony. We have Copeland. On the very bottom, we have Grimes, who you cannot see here. So we're loading up 2 deep threats along with Tony. It's a nice look pre-snap. And then we're going to move our running back out here who motioned from there. That's where he is. Then we have Pitts here. So one of the things I like about playing tight ends that are good receivers is you should get physical with them. Get physical with them on the line of scrimmage. Make sure they don't get clean releases. Kentucky, again, here is going to play cover 6. Now we know in the cover 6, this is your cover 2 side, which it's going to be. You can throw the rail route. There's a window for this rail route. You got to fit it in here, but it's there. This corner is going to let the receiver go into this window and pass him off to the safety. So there's a gap that you can throw this rail into. It's a fine philosophy. Kentucky Again, here is really going to cover most of, you can see, hopefully a little bit at least, you're going to see some of these interior routes are really covered up. So right here, we're dropping everyone. Now look at what Kentucky does here. This is really, really important because this is ridiculous from Florida's offensive line. Take a look. How many people do you see rushing the quarterback? If you said 2, you're correct. 2. Now we highlighted on the podcast that Joshua Paschal is their best offensive lineman. He's not an elite lineman, but he's good. And we've said all year long that obviously Delance struggles one-on-one. It wasn't just Delance in this game. We said that Stone Forsythe struggles when he plays against a good defensive lineman, and he did too. Whenever he faced number 4, he had his struggles as well. This was the reason why Florida struggled so mightily to move the ball easily against Kentucky. Kentucky is dropping 9 guys into coverage. 9. And despite the fact that they're dropping 9, they are still going to get almost immediate pressure. So take a look here. Again, and this is a comment I keep getting a lot in these film breakdowns, but Florida runs a zone blocking scheme. So the job of Reese here is to make sure he has no one coming into his zone. He's got to check left and right because they could be stunting. They could be bringing someone else here. They could bring a linebacker here. He can't just immediately turn his head and double because then teams could just send a delayed blitz here. You have to make sure you block your zone. He has to count on Delance to get an initial good start here, and then once he confirms that no one is in his zone, he can help. So as long as Delance can get any kind of good contain early on, we'll get a double team, we'll have a clean pocket, we'll have all day to throw the football. But obviously the biggest weak spot on Florida's offense is in fact Delance, and right away you can see that Delance is just getting blown up. Take a look, blown right off the ball. He's moved like a cone, and now Reese does his job and takes a look. Notice how Heggie here is looking. He's swiveling. He's making sure no one's coming. Chop the feet. Pick up the guy coming in now. That's how you're supposed to zone block. So the problem you have in zone blocking is if a guy is consistently getting beat and they're rushing only 2 guys, it's going to be really hard to do anything well. The very top of your screen, you're going to see the cover 2 side of this corner drop down. There's going to be a rail throw. It's what Trask is looking at. But Trask is not in an optimal position to now drive down and throw a ball that's going to have to come really hard along the sideline because Delance has gotten pushed all the way back and now he's about to get sacked. So now look at the position. Body's open, frame's open, can't do anything. He's just throwing this ball away. Now this occurred a lot in the game. Again, if teams are going to get to drop 9 guys on you, you have got to protect. There is no way that you're going to be successful if teams can drop 9 guys into coverage. They can bump, take a look here. Again, what's the ploy? They can absolutely destroy Pitts' route early on by taking a lineman and throwing him away. They can drop one into the window to make sure if Tony, look at Tony here. Tony is absolutely surrounded, and this defender here is actually going to look at Tony too. Surround Tony, get physical with Pitts, and trust that you can beat Delance. That was largely Kentucky's game plan to a certain degree. Drop everyone else into coverage, make all of these throws hard. On this side of the field, although you can't see it, the best throw again would have been to Grimes. Grimes winds up running a go route. Copeland also runs one. They 2-on-1 this deep safety. But there's no possible way Florida can throw against a cover 4, which is, again, this is a cover 6 again. So 2 on this side. That's not a 2. 2 on this side, cover 4 on this side, 2 droppers here, splitting the field in quarters, 1 dropper here, fielding in half. We've covered this a lot. Maybe eventually I'll stop saying that. But at any rate, I'm spending a lot of time on this because this is what's going on. You can't have a team dropping 9 against you, playing your tendencies, and expect to beat them without giving them time. Now, if we have a clean block here, Trash should have a lot of time to throw the ball. He can look there, and I don't love the rail, look back over here, and take something else. But that just wasn't possible on this play, and in fact, he probably is able to hit this rail if he has a clean pocket. He does not, and this plagued Florida all game long. Delance, of course, is our weakest at right tackle. He needs to be changed. But again, Stone Forsythe had his own struggles when he had to go against number 4, and really so did every other lineman we had. If anybody was matched up against him, it was a tough day for them. But obviously in this case, again, you just can't have that. You're not going to beat Alabama. There's no way you're going to beat Alabama putting stuff like this on film. It's now 3rd and 20, same drive. Kentucky says, we've rushed 2 before. Maybe we should rush 2 again. Now, it's obviously really unlikely you're going to pick this up if you're Florida, but it's extremely unlikely if a team can bring 2 against you. Here's the 2. Florida, of course, going to send 5 guys out instead of running back out and send everyone else out, right? It's a good play. I like it. It's aggressive. Let's go for it. But again, how are you going to win this battle? Take a look. Same matchup. They like this one. Let's see how this works out this time. Except now, the reason we brought it up before is what's your job as a zone defender? You saw Heggie do it. Keep your head on a swivel here, Stone. Stone immediately doesn't see anyone in front of him. So he just thinks, I'm good. I'm going to help anyone that comes in here. This is why you can't do that. This is why you have to block your zone. This is why you have to allow the other linemen to do their job. Reese can't just start helping Delance. If he does, then this will happen to him. So they rush 2, but they delay and they bring a 3rd. Stone is doing nothing. All he's doing is looking to help on the inside, which does not need any help. Again, he should be making sure he's looking at his zone, which sometimes means you'll do nothing. What you see Reese doing. Reese now knows that he has no one near him, so he's going to come and try to help. If Delance has done his job and he's held up at the point of attack, then they're going to wind up getting 2 here, 2 here. Stone takes him one-on-one. Florida's great. Kentucky, again, brings 2 initially, and then a 3rd. This is 3rd down and 20. Take a look. 3rd down and 20. We're beat here, and we're beat here. 3rd down and 20. Trask just gets his back foot in the ground, does not really even get a chance to survey any of the routes that would actually get a first down, and he must just take his check down. Again, you're not going to beat Alabama or any good football team putting this kind of stuff on film. It's way too far into the season to be having a right tackle allowing this to happen all the time. And for Stone, this is going to happen sometimes. We're not going to get out of control here and start, saying that every time a bad play happens, let's just, accuse everyone. But on film for Stone, it's a good piece of lesson. He's played well this year. We know what his struggles are. He's an SEC caliber lineman. But in general, catch it on film this week, take a look at it and say, look, more teams are going to do this. Kentucky was very successful with this. The offensive line is going to take a serious look at this and say, look, this is going to happen. Teams are going to do this. Good teams are going to do this to us. We've got to clean this stuff up because there's no way, no matter how good Trask and Florida's receivers are, there's no way Florida can win if this stuff is going on with 2 down linemen coming and then a 3rd from a random area and Florida not picking it up. So what can be done about it, is what we talk about on the podcast each and every week. For the purposes of film study on this play, not to belabor the point, 3rd down and 20 is not going to happen often, but it's definitely not going to happen if your offensive line does not hold up against a 2-man rush with a delayed 3rd. Just a few seconds ago, these Kentucky fans were really happy, and then this happened. The Kadarius Toney punt return touchdown. Another really nice read by special teams. The story of the first half was Florida's special teams using film study to their advantage. This was not a fluke. Now, they did get lucky, so to speak, but Kentucky on film, when they're in the middle of the field or towards the left side of the field, almost always punts the ball left. It's sort of like what Urban Meyer used to do, always kicking the ball to the left, making it a short kick here that you receive. It's now very popular in college football. Kentucky likes to punt the ball to the left. Now, if they're stuck up against the boundary here, they'll punt it to the right. But more often than not, if they're, again, middle or left, they're going to punt the ball left. So Florida's going to take a chance, and they're going to play what looks to be punt safe. They're going to leave Toney on this side. He's not actually hiding. Toney's actually there, which is kind of the funny part about it. And then Marco Wilson is also back on the other side. So again, not hiding, but all of Kentucky's gunners here, they're expecting this punt to go to the left. And that's important because when he kicks the ball, they're locating who they think the return man is, and all they really care about is the return man on the left side because that's the side they're supposed to be going to. Now here, he's going to be your protecting defender, so he is now locating the ball, and that's what he's supposed to do, and this is your edge defender here, and he's going to wind up recognizing way too late, also never, that the ball's not there, right? So you have your sort of protection defender being the only guy who notices this. Okay, he's getting the ball, and then this guy does too. Those are your kind of deep responsibility, your safe guys, not the first guys to the ball. Everyone else has done their job for Kentucky, and they've gone left, right? This punt does not go left. So again, that's where this starts. But either way, great job by Florida. There's no chance of this happening if Florida does not put a second returner out there and just take the chance that perhaps Kentucky will mishit this, that will not put it in the right place. And if they do, Florida can make them pay. And they knew that Kentucky was not going to kick the ball to Toney with a chance to give him a return. So why waste Toney on the left side just fair catching the ball? Really excellent work, and perhaps very fortuitously, Florida gets what they want, and that is Kentucky to mess that punt up and not punt it to the proper area. Again, that ball's not supposed to be there. You can see that everyone for Kentucky is going over here where they're supposed to be going. Toney's waiting by himself. Excellent work. This really changed the game for Florida, changed the tone and the tenor. And again, where would Florida have been in this first half without the fake punt for a first down and then the punt return for a touchdown? It's 1st and goal for Florida. This is not a great stretch for Kentucky, so you come out of the half giving up momentum, and then you give up 3 straight penalties, and now Florida is going to wind up putting themselves on the 1-yard line. Now, this is an interesting play for a couple of reasons. One, pre-snap, Florida actually gets everything they want. And again, here's Tony. Here's Tony. A lot of attention being paid to Tony, and for good reason. Tony's a playmaker. And then here's Pitts, one-on-one. This is not Kelvin Joseph. This is not their best corner. They're not even doing that on this particular play. So they're allowing Pitts to go straight up one-on-one. What's surprising about this play is that Florida actually motions Tony over. In all reality, you would rather just leave Tony entirely out of this. You would just leave Tony here, take your one-on-one side. And the reason is you don't want Kentucky to switch this. So you could motion Tony over here. You could have the defender follow, which you'll see, but they could call a switch. So they might have this defender drop in here to pick up Tony, have this defender pick up a slant route from Pitts, and just give up the corner route. They could gamble. They could roll the dice. Florida, on retrospect, and I'm sure Dan Mullen would agree with this, would have rather just left Tony right here and just let me take my one-on-one slant route. Because, again, Florida's going to run. They're going to run a fake run here. They're going to run essentially a spread option play action to make sure they hold the defensive line out of the way. Right? So there's really not a bonus to moving Tony in this look. Florida got everything they wanted with this look. You would have rather just left all these defenders here and let this happen one-on-one. As it stands, it's going to wind up working out just fine. Again, play fake. It's going to bring the defensive lineman in. He's doing his job. He's holding the edge to make sure Trask doesn't come out. Nice play design. Everything's looking good. And right now, of course, we're in great shape here. You've got Tony. You got this. Trask going to make a really nice throw into this window. Again, Pitt's going to beat him really nicely here. Just a little step to the outside. That's all it takes. Get him leaning. Again, I don't like two-handed jams. Why do I not like them? It stalls your momentum, which is exactly what happens here. You do not want to be stalling your momentum against Pitts, and now you're behind. You're giving him your face. You're giving him leverage. Everything that Trask needs. Makes a really nice pass. I mean, really a perfect pass here for a touchdown. But in all reality, if Florida could do this again, you would not want to motion Tony over here because you did bring a defender into this window. And of course, for those of you that watched the Super Bowl with the Seahawks several years ago, different play, different situation entirely, but regardless, what happened was you had a defender that had seen that play before and broke off his zone responsibility to make a hero play. Again, that could have happened here. It didn't happen. And you could say, well, great, Trask can read this and then throw here. All those things are true. But all things being equal, if you get one-on-one with Pitts with half of the field to go, you leave it as it is, and you take a touchdown. And again, I would be shocked if Dan did not say the same thing. Regardless, excellent throw. Really nice work by Florida. And momentum strongly shifted at this point in time to the Gators. Florida now on a roll. It's 2nd and goal. They're driving right back down the field. This is a really nice play design that does not wind up being a touchdown. Trask should have still made this play happen. Regardless of what happened on the offensive line, he still should have made this play happen. He hesitates a bit and does not, but let's show you what happened. So Florida's going to have a really nice, what looks to be a double block here for Pierce coming out for a flat screen pass, and then they're going to turn into slant routes. This is a nice route, difficult to defend. If the Kentucky defenders come downhill and engage at this block point, they'll be behind on the slant. There's a bunch of different ways Kentucky could play this. They could obviously rotate this defender into the flat and bring him inside, in which case that leaves a gap here. A lot of ways for Florida to win at this look, and since Kentucky is overplaying, they're overplaying the run lanes against Florida, and Florida's getting what they want here on the outside. Now, Florida's going to get everything they want on this play. The only problem is, and here's one of my favorite lineman gurus, just to show you that, look, sometimes you can get beat. It's hard to be a lineman. We're not always here to say that you can't get beat. But in general, we're going to talk about the guys that get beat more than the guys that get beat less because we're trying to improve the team. Guraj does not get beat often, but he's going to get beat bad here. And that is, again, number 4, Paschal. And there he goes. He's quick. He's quick and he's strong. All it takes is a little bit of leverage, throws him off. Now he gets in here. Now, why does this matter? Because if he doesn't get in here, this is definitely a touchdown to Pierce. So what does Kentucky do? Kentucky's locked up in man. Straight man. Look at the fake blocks. Take a look. There they go. Now they release the slants. Now they're here. Now he is reading this. He is assigned to Pierce. He reads the slant routes, and he says, I need to help on guess who? Tony. Because Kentucky was not about to let Tony catch a lot of passes in the middle of the field. This was something they just were not going to let happen, and they don't. Instead, they are going to let this touchdown happen here to Pierce, and he's going to walk in the end zone. Look at this picture. He is walking in the end zone. Now Trask fakes the pump. He's pumping to Pierce. This is the first play read. He doesn't throw to Pierce right away because the first play is to pump this, to get the linebacker to commit here, to hit the slant to Tony here. Again, nice work by Kentucky. We're not letting you throw the ball to Tony. In a normal world, Trask then looks there, says, I don't like it, which you see him do. This is not there. Head is now here. I'm throwing the ball for a touchdown to Pierce, except we've been beat. And because of that, it's 2nd and goal. He does not want to risk getting his arm hit, sack, fumble, touchdown. He takes the conservative route, which is almost certainly the right decision in a game against Kentucky. But in case you're wondering why he didn't throw it, take a look. He's very close to this ball at this point in time. Very, very close. You don't want to risk this. He tucks it down. But make no mistake about it, this is a walk-in touchdown for Pierce. And this happens because of a great individual play right here by Kentucky's excellent defensive lineman, number 4, Joshua Paschal. And my apologies to number 4, Josh Paschal, not Paschal or whatever I just said. One of the hardest things actually about being a podcaster and doing these film studies is you come across names you don't always see, and my last name is DiVirgilio, so I get this too. So at any rate, please extend me some grace when I get people's names wrong, because I know I do it all the time. But I will always try to get it right when I'm corrected. So I corrected myself. Anyway, my apologies, Josh. This is an excellent play design by Florida. So what have we seen so far? We're in the 3rd quarter. It's 24-10. This is still a ball game here. Florida knows that Kentucky is overplaying the inside of the field. So let's line up Pitts here. They're going to get edge pressure with a nickel blitz. But more importantly, the reason this matters is Kentucky is going to nickel blitz, but they're also going to drop back. Again, if they're going to blitz someone, they're going to drop back. They're not going to allow Florida to hit slant routes and things of that nature. So what does Florida do? They counter with a really nice play design. This is going to be a slant route from Grimes, but this is really just an engage this defender runoff route, which is going to give Pitts a chance to use that as a screen. Here we go here, right? If he happens to stay with this whip route, which he definitely does not, then there's an extra chance that he at least rubs into the screen from the slant. He doesn't. He is beat very badly on this move. Take a look. Again, he's going this way. He thinks, I'm stopping this. I know what you're doing. You got my other guy in a slant earlier. I'm not letting you do that, Pitts. Get out of here with that stuff. And unfortunately for him, he does take away the slant route, but that's not where Pitts is going. And then a perfectly thrown ball and an easy touchdown. And this is what you're doing if you're Kentucky. I don't know how to defend this guy. What am I supposed to do? He just tore me up. Regardless, really nice play. Good work moving into the game, getting a feel for what Kentucky wants to do and taking advantage of it with, again, a nice simple route concept. Florida struggled to run the ball well in this game against Kentucky. Kentucky was consistently able to play really just 6 defenders, so hat-on-hat football. Florida gets conservative here, 31-10, but it's not a bad idea to start with. Again, conservative to me means that we're running against the numbers. That's not what's going to happen here. Running the ball is perfectly fine, especially if you're getting 10 to 12 yards a carry or if you're getting 5 yards a carry. It's great. So Florida brings in 12 personnel. So they're going to have 1 running back and they're going to have 2 tight ends. Kentucky does not adjust to this right away. And in fact, on this particular play on 1st and 10, Kentucky is expecting a pass from Florida. It was not often that Florida confused Kentucky. Kentucky generally was getting the pass to run play ratio correct. They were accurately guessing what Florida was going to do pre-snap, and that is one of the reasons why Florida had a tough time. Kentucky definitely thinks this is run. Take a look at the action here. They feel like this is run, and that's just what we want, right? We've got a bunch of defenders here playing the pass. We've got a linebacker dropping back. This is what Florida wants. Let me rewind this and show you why this play is going to work pre-snap as long as Florida does their job. Florida with 2, 4, 6, 7. Now, normally we've been having 6. There's 7. Kentucky with 4 and 6. All right, Kentucky has 6. So we're +1. This is what you want. We're +1. And on top of that, because even though Trask can't run, we know that the zone read here is going to have to hold this defender on the edge. So in reality, Florida's plus numbers. Now, this is a really nice play by Pierce to counter this, right? Take a look here. But the reason this counter can even occur, the reason this can occur at all, is because Florida has plus numbers in the box. And because of their plus numbers, they're going to seal everything here, and then Pierce is going to have an excellent cutback lane here, and he's going to wind up doing the rest for a big gain. But this occurs because Florida goes to 12 personnel. That's going to allow them to have an extra player in the box, which then creates this matchup, which creates the numbers, which works for him. Now, it should be said here that this is where Dan Mullen loves a running quarterback. Now, we're running things with Trask, who's not a running quarterback, but if this is a running quarterback, This right here is very simple. At this point in time, take a look at this. There is nobody honoring Trask. And this is where, again, if you're a really good running quarterback, you come out here and you might have a massive gain, right? That's what you would do. That's how the play is designed. Again, Trask should keep this. Now, a lot of times for Trask, he doesn't really have a choice. They're going to just say hand it off. I'd prefer Trask not to be keeping these plays very often because you're playing Kentucky and you don't really need it and it's 31-10. But I show it to you on film because that's the reason why Dan Mullen loves running quarterbacks, especially against inferior teams. They're going to give you a lot of looks you can take advantage of. They're going to make a lot of mistakes. It's easy, kind of risk-free football. Either way, this is going to function the same way just later because Pierce has good vision to take the delay, and he's off to the races for a really nice run gain that occurred because Florida went into that 12 personnel and got a +1 advantage on the line. Florida stays in that 12 personnel. They've run the ball a couple more times. It's now 2nd and 6. Kentucky makes some subs and they counter with their run stoppers, so no longer pass rushers, run stoppers. The 95 here is going to cause Florida some serious havoc. Here he's going to beat Heggie. This is not going to stop this play, but it's foreshadowing. He goes right past Heggie. Florida, thankfully, is running to the weak side. They're running left. And Pierce picks up some yards. That sets up 3rd down. 3rd and 2 now. Here we are again. Take a look at 95. Florida, for what it's worth, actually has fine numbers here, right? Take a look at Florida. We have 2, 4, 6, and 7. Kentucky has 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we're hat-on-hat football, but we could use Tony to create a block here. We can get creative, right? We can also have Trask run the ball as a +1 runner. There's things you can do running the ball here. This doesn't necessarily have to be a conservative play, but this play is not going to work out very well because of this. Again, take a look here. Top of your screen. This is Reese. Reese goes in. His job is obviously to go ahead and get this seal, this double here with Heggie, except Reese is going to whiff entirely because 95 has really quick feet, especially for a D tackle, and now the play is in serious jeopardy. So if we can imagine a world where this block happens, this is important. That's the world Dan Mullen's imagining when he calls this play, and you were yelling at your TV screen, why are we running the ball on 3rd and 2? Well, if he imagines that block happens, take out that D tackle, now things look pretty good. Here comes Grimes, getting a block here. Here comes Pierce. He's going to take this linebacker on one-on-one. That's a battle he's probably going to win for 2 yards in the hole. However, again, look at this. This is nice. This is nice. Imagine a world where he's erased. If we can just erase him, then, we probably have a 1st down here. We're probably good to go. Now, I don't love this call. Again, I think if you're Florida, take a look at this, right? You got Tony here. Now, again, he's a conflict defender, but look how aggressive he's playing on this. Kentucky getting a bead. A lot of teams have done this. We've seen this before. We've said this in the podcast, that teams, coaches, opposing coaches, Georgia did this too, they know Dan Mullen. Dan Mullen typically does not stay aggressive. He does not want to knock you out in situations like these. Dan is already signaling in the 12 personnel, I'm kind of feeling like running the ball. I kind of want to get out of here. I'm frustrated. Not loving what's happening. And Kentucky leans into this by staying aggressive against the pass. Of course, they do still keep a shell back here deep, but this is very soft. Again, this is very soft. They're giving us a 1st down throw here. However, with all that being said, Florida can still convert this. If we have better blocking. And of course, that's not Pierce, that's Malik Davis. So my apologies, Malik. I see you there. But either way, probably going to wind up getting this. We don't get it because of a great individual play. That's one of the things that makes football great, is again, everyone has to do their job, and sometimes the other team does a really nice job as well. Regardless, in a look like this, again, Florida could just as easily say, let's run this little play action. Let's read this guy. We're way off here. Let's see what happens. And Kentucky was content in this case to give us that. But there you have it. Florida did go into that 12 personnel. They ran the ball 5 times in a row, and they get stopped on 3rd down, and then they wind up missing a field goal. Emory Jones now in the game. We'll talk about on the podcast whether we like this or not, whether we should be hunting for Heisman stats for Trask or not. But regardless, he's in the game, and this is something that you're going to see a lot next year, I can assure you. This is called a tight front. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time in this already long film study because next year we're going to get to cover this a lot. But this is a more modern way to stop a spread option running quarterback. And the reason this works really well is basically you are trying to put your 5 defenders inside the tackles. inside the tackles, which would be non-traditional when it comes to typical football alignments. But what you're really doing is you're stopping spread option teams from attacking the B gaps. They love to attack these gaps because they can put a defender in conflict. Typically, it's going to be a linebacker. Could be a variety of players depending on the look. And they're going to make them wrong. No matter what they do, they're going to be wrong. If the running back comes into the B gap and they take it, then the quarterback can pull it out. In general, you don't want to allow teams to attack up the middle, right? North-south is the fastest way to score a touchdown. Make them go east-west, which allows your outside linebackers or your nickelbacks or your guys that are playing both run and pass a little more time to read what's happening to help. So the tight front is one of the modern answers to the spread option quarterback, and you're going to watch Kentucky employ it here very nicely. Now, Kentucky did not have a whole lot of packages in here to stop Emory Jones. Most teams aren't doing that. Emory's going to have some success moving the ball against teams like this, but here is an actual look designed really just for Emory. This is something that Kentucky obviously has in their playbook for running quarterbacks in general, and you can see the benefit of it right here. Because of their alignment, there is no good way to attack the gap Florida wants to attack, which is the B gap. This gives plenty of time for the outside defender here to come in and help against the run, the linebacker to be here as well, and then a nice job is done here by the weak side linebacker to rotate over to make sure he also comes to help, and there he is at the end. But all in all, what this does, this makes it really hard for Florida to get anything with Emory in the B gaps, which is what they love. It also allows these linebackers to both flow very quickly to whichever side of the ball they're going to. Again, it's called the tight front. Pay attention to this. You'll see this much more in college football as teams begin to utilize it against teams that run spread option concepts, especially against teams that have quarterbacks that don't throw the ball super well, as this allows you to be really, really efficient against the run game with only 5 defenders in here. So a lot of flexibility, a lot of ways to cover all of your passing options out here while not giving up integrity here on the inside. Still 31-10 Florida, 9 minutes left. At this point in time, I would much prefer Florida to put their foot on the gas pedal and put a team out. Again, we've talked about that quite a bit on the podcast. We think Dan Mullen needs to lean more into Darth Vader Dan, so to speak, and to really put teams away. Not to let teams linger, not to finish these games on low points, so to speak, but finish these games really letting another team know you took their will, you took their cookies, get back on the bus, don't come back. You're inferior to our football team. Instead, we tend to limp to the finish. There were some play calls where Florida was, as I defined, conservative. This is one of them. Florida has 5 offensive linemen, and Kentucky has 5 defenders. 4 here are lined up on the line, and then we're going to have a 5th defender that's potentially here. It's 3rd down and 9. Now, the reason I say this call is conservative is Florida knows for sure at this point in time, take a look at the splits, that this is probably a man-to-man matchup, a shorter on the outside, and that Kentucky, in fact, is way, way more playing run than they have in the past. Kentucky has 3 defenders here versus Florida's trip set here. Typically, they have 4. Now, he can play either way. But his positioning would already tell you he's leaning far more towards the run. Same thing with your safety being more inside here. So Florida could just fake this handoff and take a 3v3 route combination on this side, or take their man-to-man option on this side. As we see the snap roll, here it is. Now imagine we pulled that ball out one more time, fake that ball handoff here. He's committed a bit to the run. He would turn around late. They bailed off deep. They're coming down in the middle like they have been. They have left us entirely one-on-one up here with Shorter. A far more aggressive call, of course, would be on 3rd and 9. Let's take our chances here with this one-on-one with our big-bodied receiver, Shorter. Let's knock Kentucky out of the game. Let's let our Heisman Trophy winning quarterback put a nice ball out there. Instead, we simply hand the ball off. And this play goes nowhere. This is an excellent play, by the way. Again, this play call, you could say, well, this could work. We wind up getting beat on the right side of the line. There goes Reese. There goes DeLance. Neither one of them gets a good contact early on. DeLance really not in a position to do much on this one because Reese misses, and then we have a tackle in the backfield. So again, this play design is fine from Florida. 3rd down and 9, to me, conservative call. Play design, not bad. Imagine we seal this here. Now we have one blocker here, right? Now he's going to be accounted for by Guraj, who's going to come out here. But even then, what are the odds you pick this up? Very, very, very low. Florida's up 21 points. A field goal puts them up 24 points. you're still only up 3 scores. Yes, you're up 3 scores and 3 conversions, which is definitely better than just 3 scores. But I think if you're Florida and you have the right mentality, when you see one-on-one with Shorter, a guy who works hard for you that had a fumble in the game, you take your chance here. You put this ball up. You let it happen. Get the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. Be aggressive here. Let's get a fade route. Let's get any kind of man-to-man route we want. And again, instead we hand it off and we're content to kick a field goal. So I didn't love that. Again, there weren't a lot of times in the game where you kind of looked at it and thought, we really did what was the most conservative option there. But this was one particular case where that happened. So all in all, not a great day for Florida in the offensive department. The numbers still looked okay across the board. Obviously, Trask still throwing for 3 touchdowns. But the real story to this game was in part how Kentucky chose to defend us. But most importantly, none of Kentucky's game plan would have worked had they not been able to generate pressure with just 3 or sometimes 2 down linemen rather consistently, which is the same exact thing we said about Vanderbilt the week before. So this will be interesting. How will future teams play Florida? LSU, our opponent this week, as we're going to do a film breakdown on them, does not play a lot of zone. They don't drop like this. It's not their style. I don't expect them to do that per se. Alabama is, of course, capable of playing any style, and I would expect them to employ a lot of the techniques we're seeing here, especially because they have proven to work pretty well against Florida 2 games in a row now at sort of, again, maybe the yardage totals are nice, maybe we're moving the ball on the field well, but there are clearly some issues that we have, especially if you can get us on 3rd down and 9, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and you're a really good football team. If you can get good pressure and you know which side you can get the pressure on as a defense, you can start to do some things to make these throw windows much smaller for Kyle Trask. So let's keep an eye on that. I hope you enjoyed the content. As always, hit this video up with a like if you did, and subscribe to this channel. Send us your feedback if you want to see more, less, or anything else. Until next time, I'm James from the Gator Nation Football Podcast.